Hey guys, Brain Fuse Laser here. I was actually at Galactic God's house today, and I saw a card in my box from the new set, and it was Gaga Gigo the Risen. And we were talking about how specific cards in Abyss Rising should be super rares over particular hollows in the set that actually are hollows, such as that wacky alchemy, bubble bringer. What's his name? Giant Soldier of Steel, um, Abyss Squall, I think, and just a couple other ones. Some of the cards that are hollows in the set that just seem like maybe they shouldn't be hollows. Tannhauser Gate, I believe, shouldn't be a hollow either. I think it's a cool card. I think it's kind of interesting, but it isn't hollow worthy. But this also brings me to the argument that Konami knows exactly what they're doing. I've said this before. Konami knows what they're doing. They set these things up. There's a Mermail that's rare, that's really good. He's like Stratos. He's blonde, the blonde one. There's a Prophecy of Justice. There's a, I think, Snowdust Giant or something. What else was there? And then there was a couple other cards that were just like, why are these rares? Why are these rares? These cards seem really good. They should have been probably at least supers. And I think that in the future they will probably be hollow-fied at some point in their lifespan. In a maybe Yugi collection, whatever, Yugioh, Yugi collection Yuma, or Gold Rare, or something like that. That's getting a little off track. Basically, it's kind of started me thinking about the design of particular cards. I was started thinking about Gaga Gigo the Risen and how he needs 3 level 4 monsters, blanket, so he's splashable in any extra deck. You don't need anything particular to make him. He's 2950, 2800, which is substantially larger than most other monsters in the same bracket. You can look at, monsters like number 10, Illuminite, who needs 3. He's a 2400 monster, light warrior, who once per turn you can detach 1 exceed material from this card, send 1 card from the hand of the graveyard, and draw a card. So you're like, this is like a negative. You're using 3 guys to make a weak guy, a weaker guy than 3 dudes would be, and then you're detaching 1 material, dumping another card, and then drawing. So unless you're playing some crazy deck, like I guess a Chaos Ninja deck, that can just go into dudes like that, would need a Light and a Dark in the graveyard to bring out a Chaos monster, and then you would draw. I mean, it would just have to have such a good setup. And then why would you just not run Shockmaster instead, who needs 3 level 4 monsters, is 2316, but has the ability once per turn you can detach 1 exceed material from this card to declare 1 card type, MST. That type of card, if spell or trap, cannot be activated, or if monster effect cannot activate its effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that's just substantially better than Illuminite, and is obviously probably better than Gaga Gigo the Risen. But the reason I bring him up is because he's so beefy, and that's all he has going for him. And I'm just like, why would they even make this card? Who is gonna play this card? Like, who would rather choose a rare from a set that doesn't really do anything for you, has no inherent abilities? He's not even like semi-good. Like, I can understand. Okay, Gem Knight Pearl was a secret rare. He only takes 2 guys to make. You use whatever you want. 2 level 4s. It's 2600, and that's really good. I think that's really good. I used to underestimate him a lot, but with the inclusion of Extra Sword, I've come to admire some of the cards' designs a lot better. Extra Sword makes other monsters just kind of good in general, but I think Gem Knight's good on his own anyway, because he's 26, he's going to get over stuff, he's going to get over a lot of monsters, and he has 1900 defense, so not a whole lot of monsters can just kill him on their own unless they're a sack monster or something like that. But even then, let's say your opponent sacks for a Caius or whatever, another 2400 monster. He's big enough to get over them with some change. And I think that's really cool. You know, I used to not like this card. I used to think, what, this card's so stupid. Why would they even make this card? And then I realized kind of that he's actually a lot better than I give him credit for. But it kind of reminded me of Yugioh Guardian in a way, and how easy it is to make Yugioh Guardian, and how ridiculously powerful Yugioh Guardian was at his level of being easy to bring out. So if you're unaware exactly what Yugioh Guardian is, let me give you a little reminder. Yugioh Guardian is a 6-star synchro. Just takes 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. So he'd be really easy to make in anything running tuners. He's very splashable. He said he has 2800 attack, 2000 defense. That's bigger than most 8-star synchros. So when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your side of the field in face-up defense position. So just something to let that sink in for a second. And that's just ridiculous. He's 6 stars. You know, back in the day, Krebins was just really powerful. You could E-Tellies anything down. Let's just say, you know, like Teledad or any kind of hero variant with E-Tellies in them is just kind of ridiculously powerful, because you could just go, let's say Stratos plus, because you just brought out Stratos and then you went and got an E-Hero, and then you play E-Telly and you bring out a Krebins. Now you go into Yugioh, and then you take your opponent's monster just like that, and now you've plussed again. And it's just like, okay, you didn't lose anything, but now your opponent's lost their monsters because you gained it with Yugioh's effect. I just think that's like ridiculously powerful, and obviously he's banned for this reason. And there aren't a whole lot of cards that are like that anymore. There aren't like these crazy powerful cards that are just so overwhelmingly powerful that you can't just go, oh, that's so broken. That's just so broken. There are cards with really good effects for their level or rank, and I think that's interesting in that aspect. And it's like they learned from Yugioh. We gotta be very careful with what we do with the extra deck now, because people just are abusing these things. They learn too quickly what is too powerful. You know, I think at that time, Upper Decker Konami kind of didn't realize how powerful a tool the internet was. You know, how quickly word spreads and stuff like that. So you know, we could take a look at a few of the Exceeds that are a little easier to bring out, that have seemingly very powerful or seemingly weak effects compared to other things, but in general, Exceeds are fairly balanced inherently through their design. And why I say this is because if, let's say you go Synchro, you go 4-star, 3-star into Black Rose. So 2 materials have already gone to the graveyard, and then you bring out your Black Rose, blow up the board, a 3rd monster goes to the graveyard. So let's just say there are already 2 monsters in the graveyard prior to the Exceed materials. I mean the Synchro materials. So now you have 2 plus 2 is 4, plus the Black Rose is 5. Now you can Pot of Avarice right away. Or let's say those 2 monsters you used was a light and a dark. Or there was already a light in the graveyard and there were 2 darks. Or one of them was a dark and one was a whatever. So now you have a light and a dark in the graveyard. You just clear the board. You can bring out Chaos Sorcerer, you know, BLS, Light Pulsar, whatever Chaos monster you really want to talk about, and then go in for a clean hit. You can't do that kind of stuff with Exceeds. There are no Exceeds that just go, okay, let me come out, go boom, you know, whatever. And like the closest thing that comes to that is number 91. Takes 3 monsters, level 4. It's generic, so you can splash it. Detach 3 materials from this card. destroy all other face-up monsters on the field. Doesn't even destroy everything. Just destroys all other face-up monsters on the field. And then his other effect is detach 5 Exceed materials from this card. So you would have to spend more trying to get him to this effect, but it would be worth it because you would destroy everything your opponent controls, not just everything, which is a lot more beneficial for you. And his stats are 24, 2000. Black Roses are 24, 18. So they're really close, but it seems like the Thunder thing is a little more balanced. It's actually a lot more balanced because you have to use 3 guys to make him. You have to get 3 guys onto the board that are all the same level, put them under, and then sure, you can, you know, waste all your materials all at once to destroy everything, or you can build up to 5, which is like unreasonable, and then you can blow up everything your opponent controls. But it's really harder to do that. It's a lot harder to do that than to just say, go, oh, let me bring out a level 4, you know, and then E-Telly down to level 3, or, you know, Birdman down to level 3, or whatever. Black Rose, blow up the board. You know, and that's just like, I kind of appreciate that more, a little more now. Because it's just like, it's a lot better, I think. I think Exceeds are much more balanced than people give them credit for. Yeah, it's easier to make them, sort of, but not really. As is seen by Gaga Gigo the Risen. It's 3 level 3s, or 3 level 4s to make a vanilla beater. And I think that's really all I really wanted to talk about, was just how I kind of come to appreciate Exceed design a little more, and how I thought, you know, before I was like, oh, these cards are so broken, they're so broken, you know, whatever. And I looked at a lot of the Syncros, I looked at a lot of the Exceeds, and I was like, you know what, they're actually a lot more balanced than you think. Exceeds, you know, you have to have the 2 monsters, the 3 monsters. They stay on the board, so unless you're going to kill your own guy that you just worked to bring out, you're not going to be able to abuse graveyard advantage. You're not going to be able to, you know, put Chaos Food in the graveyard as fast as you want to, as opposed to Syncros, where everything goes to the graveyard at once. You get a new monster. That monster could give you extreme advantage, or, you know, whatever. And then that monster goes to the graveyard. That adds to your graveyard count. You know, and a lot of the Exceeds are actually weaker, a lot weaker than a lot of the Syncros were back in the day. You know, look at Dolka. You need 2 dinosaurs to make him, 2300. The dinosaurs usually used to make him are both 19. So why would you use 2 1900s to make a 2400 or 2300? Because his effect is really good. Logia, 2400, same thing. Why would you waste 2 1900 beaters to make one 24 beater? Right? Gaga Cowboy, 1524. Why would you use 2 4-stars to make a 1500 monster? You know, back in the day when fusions were out, that was like blasphemous almost. Like, why would you waste that kind of resource to make such a weak monster? Because his effect is good. So I think that, you know, that kind of design is really powerful and really good. I really like the Exceeds, and I'm excited to see what kind of Exceeds they come out with in the future. You know, that are around the rank 4 area, you know, rank 5, whatever. I'm not going to go into all the Exceeds in this video. I'm just kind of appreciative now that I think about it, of kind of the design of Exceeds. So yeah, in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think of, you know, how balanced Exceeds are compared to Syncros, how they can improve Exceeds even more. You know, I think Exceeds are pretty good. I like to look at the Exceeds and go, you know, Gem Knight's pretty good. He's like a Yugioh, but he doesn't have an effect, so he's balanced. You know, Cowboy has really good effects, but he's really weak. You know, even the better ones like Logia and Dolka are good, but they're specific. You need dinosaurs to make them, and it's their effects that make them powerful, type of thing, rather than just Exceeds. I mean, Exceeds being super broken, big, huge monsters to just destroy your opponent, like Syncros once were. And you think that's better, or do you think that, you know, they should start making uber powerful broken monsters again? I mean, I think some of the newer ones are a little powerful, you know, like from Cosmo Blazer or whatever, but we'll get into that in another video. Yeah, so just tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to see when I put out new videos, and thanks for watching.